Yo guys, what's up? Welcome back to r/I don't work here lady,
where OP actually turns into Karen when he mistakes a pregnant lady for an employee. I just wanted to say a huge thank you to everybody. We have just reached 8,000 subscribers a few days ago, and I am very grateful for everybody who supports me on a daily basis. Without any further ado, let's dive right into the stories. A nice I don't work here lady story. Okay, so many moons in my past I was an army reservist, and to celebrate 100 years of the reserve forces, the army threw several military tattoos. The one most local to me is held in a university city. This fact is important later, and I get the slightly boring job of marshalling a car park with 5 other guys, helping people park and then providing directions up to the event. We have radios with enough range just to cover the car park area. We take turns directing people to spaces and on the entrance. A few hours pass and the light starts to fade. Myself and 2 others are at the entrance and suddenly hear screaming. "Help! Help police! I'm being mugged!" in an African accent, Kenya, Nigeria if memory works. We all run to her aid and the mugger runs off with her bag. The 2 guys I was with took after him. One, let's call him Dave, is fast. Greased lightning on 20 Red Bull fast. He is wearing drill boots as well. I get sporadic radio commentary and a description of the guy as I see to the lady who was attacked. I walk her to where we had set up at the car park entrance with a Land Rover and table and such, offer her a drink of water and so on. I whip out my trusty notebook and start taking details of her. All the time she's calling me sir, officer and so on. I brush it off as that's what she does in her home country. I get all the info I can, and when the others who are wandering around the car park turn up, she calms down and feels rather safe. I pull out my phone and call the police. She looked at me as if it was weird not to use my radio. Anyway, police send some guys over, and as they arrive, Speedy Dave and Soldier B turn up with the mugger, who seemed to be a bit battered and bruised. "He tripped several times," was the answer. "Yeah, tripped. We believe you thousands, don't we, Dave?" Now by this point the lady is rather confused and could not figure out why us in our standard issue British Army uniform were handing over to these people in black and white. A police officer speaks to her, explaining that she's a police constable from the local station, to which the mugged lady replies, "Wait, you're police? Not these men in the combat clothes?" Cop: "No, they are army, attending an event in the city." Mugged lady turns to us and says, "I'm so sorry for dragging you into this. I thought you were policemen, as in my country they wear army clothes like you." The lady thought we were the police, and she had only been there a week and had not seen a police officer in the UK before. But it all worked out in the end. Guys, you know what freaks me out nowadays? Seeing police in the streets with machine guns. Around maybe 10 or 15 years ago, I would not have imagined police casually standing in the streets with machine guns. But what is your take on that? Do you think that's normal or needed? Tell me in the comments. So, I embarrassed myself. This story is a complete opposite. I was having a day out at a town quite far away from my home. While walking about, I was dying to go to the bathroom and I was a little hungry. Next and close stop, Costa Cafe. Now if anyone can relate, when you are really desperate to go to the bathroom, you cannot really focus or concentrate, right? I walked in, squeezing my thighs together while almost on the verge of pissing myself, and asked this random girl who I first saw inside the cafe. Me: "Excuse me love, where's your toilets please?" Girl: "I'm sorry?" Me practically dancing: "Toilets, can you please point me in the right direction?" The girl turned around and I assumed she just decided to ignore me, but instead she picked up a baby out of a pram and I instantly put 2 and 2 together. Me: "Oh god, I'm so sorry. I thought you worked here. I'm so sorry." The girl just continues ignoring me, so in the end I just searched for the toilets myself. Then after I peed, I awkwardly walked past the girl again, and of course the odd "I'm sorry, I'm so embarrassed." I did want to offer her a coffee on me, but my fiance had told me, "Just sit down you fool, you're just digging a deeper hole." And honestly, I thought if she had read it, what are the chances she will write about this? Well, I think that might be a situation that probably happened already to all of us, and as such, it's not really that embarrassing. Anyway, if you have watched until here, please don't forget to post some stars in the comments and like the video if you want to support me. I'm still trying to pump out these daily 20-minute long videos while on vacation, so any help you can give is very much appreciated. But now, let's continue. Old guy at supermarket asks me where the baby shampoo is. So this just happened today. I was leaving work and needing a few things, so I went to the supermarket. I am in the shampoo aisle with my cart of goodies and I'm looking for the shampoo I use. There's an older man there, about in his 60s, also looking. I grab a can of shaving cream I'm needing as well before he asks if I know where the baby shampoo is. I tell him I don't, but he might try Walmart in their baby section. He tells me he just can't seem to find it and he needs it for his dog. I'm a dog groomer, so my ears perk up. Me? For your dog? Old man:
Yes, the vet said I should try it.
Me: Does she have dry skin or something? Old man:
No, I just like to keep her clean and give her baths. She likes baths.
Me: You know what? That can dry out her skin. Old man:
Yes, that's why the vet said baby shampoo.
Okay, so we have come full circle. I tell him again I don't know about here, but Walmart would sure have it in their baby section. I then tell him I don't know much about human shampoos, but know a bit about dog shampoos as I'm a dog groomer. He looks surprised and we start talking about his dog and my dog. He says he takes her to a nearby park and she's so small that she will stop to smell where all the other dogs have peed on the side of the path and get all messy with pee on her feet and legs. I tell him he might try dog wipes / baby wet wipes and use those for a quick wipe down to get the pee off, and that it worked for my old dog when she would pee on herself. We then showed each other pictures of our dogs and then started to talk about where I work, and he also asks me if I know anything about hawks flying off with dogs. I tell him it's really the only super small dogs like Chihuahuas, Yorkies and Malteses that would be able to be lifted off the ground. He had a Min Pin, pretty good size, 13 pounds. He then tells me he would feel so awful if that happened to her, so he stands outside for her to finish going potty. He then says she's the only family he has left. His wife passed away last December from a very serious illness that cost him 24/7 care for her. He said everything else around him started falling apart, like his house. He needs to get it fixed up, it's just him and his dog. I said I'm sorry and started feeling bad for him. I told him he reminded me a lot of my grandpa in looks and his mannerism. He then joked and was like, "How old is that?" I told him in his 60s and he was like, "Oh god, I was hoping you wouldn't say 70s. I then told him my grandpa plays poker and if he did, he only plays it online, not in person, so it probably wouldn't suit him. I then tell him he also owns property and fixes it up for his residents, and that's when he tells me about the state of his house. He goes on to say retirement has him getting quite bored from owning a business to doing nothing. I tell him that's how my grandpa was too, with owning computer stores to then retiring and not feeling it, so he stated his buying and renting out property. He understood that, and at this point I'm just trying to get him a social life with people his own age. Don't know if my grandpa would be too keen on it, but if the guy played poker IRL, then maybe a new poker buddy. After talking for quite a bit in this tiny aisle with everyone going around us, sorry people, he then says that he has to buy dog food shortly and his vet told him a brand. I tell him to be careful as some brands people are finding bugs in them when they open them, and maybe a wet dog food would be better than the bags. He was shocked but thanked me for the warning and then said if he sees me he will say hi. He gave me his name and I gave him mine. He then asks if maybe sometime I might want to go get a coffee and just chat. I'm a bit hesitant, mostly because I don't drink coffee, and he sees this and goes, "Of course you don't have to, I'm sure you're busy with your boyfriend." I just laugh and tell him no. We then part ways and I start thinking to myself, he's just lonely, he has no family left and it's just him and his dog. I'm probably one of the few people he's had an actual conversation with in a while. It then reminded me of retirement homes that my great-grandpa was in before he passed. We all would constantly go over to visit him. My family told me that the old folks in homes like this, lots of times their families will just put them here and forget about them. That makes me sad to think about. It made me sad to think that this old guy has no one left and is just all alone with his dog as his only companion. I would not mind taking him up on his offer if it meant he just needed human company for a bit. So yeah, not a horrible story, just a sad one, and it all started with asking if I knew where the baby shampoo was. To be honest, it's sometimes heartbreaking when you walk past these retirement homes and then you see old people sitting there, maybe in a wheelchair, staring outside, and you never know what is their situation. Are they happy? Did their family abandon them? Basically, what is their story? But anyway, we got some stories to read ourselves, so let's continue. Talking to someone in your own time?
How dare you?
This happened yesterday in my local supermarket. The cast is LOL, lovely old lady, K, entitled Karen, M, manager, and CE, confused employee, and of course, me as me. I am a fairly tall guy, 197 centimeter, or about 6'5" and I get asked to grab something off a top shelf by someone shorter than me on quite a regular basis, and when I see someone struggling to reach a product, I often offer to help myself. So of course, when I saw this little old lady all stretched out and standing on her toes trying to reach for a pack of crisps, I asked, "Do you need some help, ma'am?" LOL, "Oh yes dear, if you can grab me 2 packs of those crisps, that would be wonderful." Me, "No problem, here you are," hands her 2 packs of crisps. The little old lady then starts about how I remind her of her grandson because he is tall as well and he also wears those kind of music shirts. I am wearing a shirt with the skull of the Whispered One from Critical Role, but I choose not to correct her on that one. We keep chatting for about 5 minutes, and during this time, the Karen of this story pops her head in the aisle 2 or 3 times and looks in our general direction. I did not think anything about it yet. So after about 5 minutes, the little old lady thanks me again and she goes her own way. Time for me to choose what kind of crisps I want. And nope. Karen,
"Are you finally done talking? I've been waiting for 15 minutes. What do you think your boss would say about wasting 15 minutes talking to a customer?"
Me, confused. I'm pretty sure he doesn't care whom I talk to. Karen,
"You're trying to tell me he doesn't mind you wasting time?"
Me, yeah, and even if he would, I don't see how it would be any of his business. Karen,
"Nonsense. Anyway, I need brand X coffee beans."
Me, still oblivious to the fact she thinks I'm an employee. As far as I know, all coffee is in the next aisle. I'm sure you'll find it there. Karen,
"I know it's in the next aisle, you idiot, but the shelf where it's supposed to be is empty."
Me, well sorry, cannot help you then. And I turn around, looking at the crisps again. Karen,
"That's it. I will have your job for this."
It's not until now I realize she thinks I'm an employee there, even though I'm wearing a black shirt with a skull on it. And the employees wear a light blue button-up shirt with a name tag. I wanted to explain to her that I do in fact not work there and this must be a misunderstanding, but she's already storming off. I continue shopping and a few minutes later, when I'm standing at the dairy section next to an actual employee who's stocking, I hear her shouting again. Karen,
"That one, that's him."
M walks to CE next to me and asks him, "This lady tells me you've been wasting 15 minutes just making small talk to a customer and then you refuse to help her. Can you tell me what happened?" CE,
No, that's not true. I did help someone find the grated cheese, but then I went right back to stocking."
Karen,
"No, not him, the other one."
and points at me. M looking at me and then to Karen, "Ma'am, this is obviously not an employee here." Me, "No, how the F did you think I was an employee? I obviously don't look like one." Karen,
"And now he's swearing at customers too. You need to fire him."
I just facepalm at this moment, then look the manager in the eyes and say, "You know what? No need to fire me." I quit effective immediately. I then turn to the CE who's failing to understand what's going on and say, "It was nice working with you, mate. See you later," and shake his hand. I could see all 3 trying to figure out what had just happened when I walked past them to check out, and I could not stop laughing on my 3 minutes walk home. In regards to,
"I will take your job for this."
someone in the comments said, Okay, my shifts are 3 to 11:30 Monday through Friday. And don't forget your steel-toed shoes. Some of these encounters lead me to believe that many Karens haven't worked a single day in their lives, so maybe having the job of someone else might be positive for them. But for now, let's continue. Lady wants me to move a random person's stuff off the beach. I work as a swim instructor on a very busy beach, and our office is based in a little surf shack on the edge of the beach. The beach is really popular, and if you don't get there before about 10 in the morning, most days you can forget about getting a decent spot for your stuff. So it was a little before 3 in the afternoon when a random woman came up to the surf shack, and it looked like she was yelling, but I was a little down the beach as I was wrapping up a class, so I could not hear her. I saw her and hurried over after all the students from the 2 o'clock class were safe on the beach. I instructed the class to start bringing their boards up to the shack so I could put them away. Me, hi, my name is OP. I'm one of the instructors here. How can I help you? Lady,
Finally, I've been waiting forever.
I literally saw her arrive less than 20 seconds ago. Me, customer service mode activated. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. I was wrapping up a class and I'm the only one on duty right now. Lady,
I don't need the details. Are you helping me or not?
me, do you want to sign up for surfing lessons? Lady,
No.
do you want to rent some equipment?
No.
Well, so what can I do for you?
Help me with this crap.
She gestures to a few towels with a windbreaker, buckets and spades, a couple of bottles of drink, a board bag, everything you would need for a family day out at the beach. I had seen the family it belonged to earlier, briefly. Parents in their mid-30s and a couple of kids who did not look older than 10. Me, you want me to... Lady,
Help me move it.
me, where? Lady,
In there.
points to the surf shack where the students are currently dumping their boards. Me, I think there has been a misunderstanding here. This is a school, not a storage unit. Lady,
Stop asking questions and just help me move it.
she turns towards the stuff and I realize she's 1. Early 20s and not the mother nor the daughter of this family, and 2nd, carrying her own beach stuff. Me, do you know this family? Lady,
Why would I?
me, because you want me to move their stuff. Either you know them or you're moving a stranger's stuff off the beach. Lady,
Can you just shut up and do your job? You're getting paid to help people, not to ask questions.
I'm getting paid to teach surfing, not move people's stuff. Lady,
Well, what am I meant to do? All the good spots are taken.
me, look for another spot. She storms off after this, and I thought it was over, so I go inside to help the students with their boards, but then maybe 5 minutes later I head back towards the door and there's a pile of beach stuff right outside the door. I look over and sure enough, the lady from earlier is lying on a beach towel in the exact same spot she had indicated, with the family's possessions bundled up and left for me to look after. I did not really see what else I could do after that. I had to stay in the surf shack and keep an eye on the current class while waiting for the other one to arrive, as I was the only person on duty. Plus, now it was on the premises, I figured it probably came under the surf shack's rule of us taking responsibility for lost or stolen items, and I did not want anything to get nicked. I yelled to the lady, but she was almost definitely pretending she could not hear me. The family came back a little while later, 10 or so minutes, asking why some random woman in their spot was saying I had their stuff, and I gave it to them and explained. They looked more confused than angry, but I saw the dad go over to the lady and they exchanged what looked like some less than friendly dialogue, while the mom thanked me for at least making sure their stuff did not get stolen, and she and the kids set off further up the beach. And somebody in the comments had a great idea on how to mess with Karen. So first, you would set all your stuff back up all around her, and then you need to instruct your kids to have a sand fight. But to be honest, there's one thing Germans are really good at when they are on vacation abroad. We love to get up early, take our towel and put it on a chair or something near the pool to reserve our spot. I know other nations do that as well, but I think Germans are quite famous for it. Anyway, unfortunately that's the last story for today. If you enjoy my content, don't forget to like the video to support me. I hope you have a fantastic day and I see you again tomorrow.